Good morning. Welcome to Morag's yoga session at the virtual Purbeck Valley Folk Festival. I hope you're enjoying the action so far, and I hope you enjoy the next hour or so of gentle, flowing yoga to relax and refresh you. So I'm going to move to the mat now and take a seated position. So I invite you to do the same. If you have a mat, then use it. You don't need a mat, but it might make you feel more comfortable. This is Bella, my assistant. I'm sure she's going to be very helpful during the course of the session. So the idea of this yoga is it's a flowing yoga, as I've mentioned. It's called a vinyasa flow. And vinyasa essentially means the connection between the breath and the movements that you undertake during the course of a yoga session. So it's a choreographed practice where the breath is specific to the movement. And with this kind of yoga, it's also good to hold the postures for a little while as well. So we do a little bit of static work, but it's very much about really opening up the muscles, the joints, opening up the spine, and just making best use of the session. So we're going to start with just to relax and to get you started with the session. Find a comfortable seated posture. That might involve you getting a cushion, because sometimes it's a little bit easier to lift your bottom up. Get my props here, and to sit maybe on a folded cushion. That will help to relieve a little bit of pressure from your knees. If you don't like that cross-legged position, you can of course take a kneeling position, perhaps with a cushion in between. Just find anything that's comfortable for you today. Well, I'm going to stay with this kneeling position for the moment. I invite you to close your eyes. You don't need to watch anything for this part. If you close your eyes, it's easier to internalize your focus. And this is the focus that I want you to work on and try to maintain throughout the hour of yoga that is going to follow. So this is why I'm going to ask you to just start with your eyes closed, as I said, if that's comfortable to you. Just to scan the body first of all, just not thinking about your breath now, just scanning the body, starting perhaps with the top of the head. Is there any tension in the head? If there's tension, just take note of it. Don't try and do anything to relieve it, unless there's an easy movement that you can make that might take away that tension. Moving down the neck, the shoulders, the arms, the back of the body, the front of the body, in the hips and buttocks, the backs of the thighs, hamstrings to the front of the thighs, the knees, the shins, the calves, and the feet. So start to be conscious of your breath, just feeling the flow of the air coming into the body through the nose. So if you're comfortable breathing through the nose, with your lips just very gently closed, touching. Notice how the body changes its shape to incorporate the breath. So as you inhale, there's a very obvious movement of the chest opening out. And as you exhale, the chest closes in. And there we see our first characteristics of the breath. The in-breath, which is an opening, expanding and energizing breath. And the exhale, which is the opposite. It's a closing, relaxing, releasing breath. So you could inhale and open, exhale, close. So just do that a few times. Inhale and exhale. Make the movements more pronounced as you inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Introduce more movement if you can. Really arching the spine and exhale. Seeing how low you can get your head, maybe to the floor. Inhale. Opening the arms wide, stretching across the front of the chest. Feel that in the armpits. And exhale. Inhaling. Exhaling. And then coming up to seated. Now try to contrast that movement with some stillness. So trying not to fidget, trying to be anchored and grounded in this base. Closing your eyes if you feel comfortable, or you can keep the eyes open and gently relaxed. Try not to allow your eyes to be too greedy if your eyes are open. The idea here is that your senses are devoted to searching within the body, looking, analyzing, feeling the sensations, what comes up, scanning the body again. Now focusing on the lung area, so the chest area of the body, this section. As you inhale, really feel the lungs opening and be aware of the 3 dimensions of the lungs. So moving from the front to the back as you inhale and exhaling. And from side to side as you inhale, exhaling. And up and down as you inhale, exhaling. And now all 3 together. So continuing that exercise, seeing if you can get the breath longer and deeper. Using all 3 dimensions of the lungs. You might notice that as you breathe in, your tummy also expands, and that will show you that you're getting a really good full breath. But I want you to take your focus now to the base of the spine. Perhaps you can feel the sit bones on whatever you're seated on. I want you to focus on the space in between the sit bones as well as the sit bones themselves. And just gently engage the muscles in that area. Gently engage the muscles in the abdomen so that when you're breathing, the movement stays generally in the lung area. So try a few breaths, drawing the abdomen in, gently focusing on engaging the muscles of the pelvic floor area. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. Keeping your attention on the breath, trying to maintain an equality of length on the inhale and exhale. Remembering to draw gently on the muscles of the pelvic floor area and abdomen towards spine. Using that as a grounding, anchoring experience. Maintaining that sense of grounding as you inhale, bearing in mind this is an opening breath. Feel the spine lengthen. Feel the chest open. Perhaps roll the shoulders to really make sure those shoulders are staying relaxed. As you reach the top of the inhale, take your focus to your heart area and try to keep the length in the spine. But as you exhale, feel the grounding energy moving down the spine back towards the base of the spine and that space in between the sit bones. So you can use the focus in those areas to anchor you and provide movement in the spine and length in the spine as you inhale, taking the shoulders perhaps to the top and rolling them so the shoulders aren't near the ears. Focus on the heart area. Keep the spine long as you exhale. See if you can feel that transfer of energy moving up the front of the spine on the inhale and down the back of the spine on the exhale. You can introduce a slight pause at the beginning, at the end of each breath. So that would work with an inhale, pause, exhale, pause, inhale, pause, exhale, pause, inhale, pause, exhale, pause, inhale, pause, exhale, pause, inhale, pause, Pause. Exhale. Pause. So we're going to keep the eyes closed if you want to. You can keep your eyes open your eyes to watch the demonstration, or the instructions are fairly simple. It's up to you. So first of all, you might want to relax your legs a bit. You might need a change of position. So I'm going to change to a cross-legged position here. I'll just give you a couple of moments to readjust. I'm going to change the cushion around so it's the opposite way, lifting my hips up so that my knees can rest comfortably on the ground. So we're going to start with the arms away from the body and the fingertips just lightly touching the floor. You're going to start with an inhale, and as you inhale, the arms are going to move up over the head. As you're doing so, try to keep the shoulders low. Look up to the hands. Exhale. Head back to neutral. Hands back to the mat. You might notice as I'm bringing my arms up, my hands start palms facing down, and they turn around as I'm inhaling. That opens up the chest. I need to focus on keeping my shoulders low. Exhale. So you should feel the stretch across the front of the chest, particularly across the front of the shoulders here. As you're doing this, really focus on keeping the shoulders away from the ears. It's very easy for the ears to go right up as you lift the hands up, so try to avoid doing that. So let's do some together, and then to your own breath rhythm. You can have your eyes open or closed. So starting from the bottom, inhale, looking up, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, breath and movement synchronized. Exhale. If you want to put your hands together at the top, and you can do that without bunching up your shoulders, then that's fine. Otherwise, keep them at shoulder height. Inhale, shoulder width. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And now, continuing to your own breath rhythm. Keep the breath and the movement synchronized. That's where your focus is. The slower your breath and movement, the more intense the focus. Keep those shoulders down. Keep the tummy in. If you feel tired at any stage, then just have a rest. And then the next time your arms come down to the sides of your body, just keep them there. Sit up tall, drawing the abdomen in. So you might feel quite a nice tingly feeling across the top of the shoulders and the chest where you've been moving. So we're going to increase the range of movement now, and in order to do so, we're going to go on to all fours. So this is a chance to get rid of the cushion. So I'll put my cushion to the side, and I'm going to go on to all fours. Hopefully you can see my profile. You will see that my knees are below my hips. The hips are stacked directly over. My knees are hip width apart. My hands are slightly in front of my shoulders, so they're not directly beneath, and they're going to go a little bit further as well later. So this is a combination of a number of postures. We have cat, which is arching the back. We have cow, which is opening the chest. As you can probably imagine, bearing in mind what we've said already about the breath, the inhale is the cow part of the posture where you're opening up the chest. The exhale is the cat part of the posture because it's closing. So it will be inhaling to cow, exhaling to cat. Inhaling to cow, exhaling to cat. This is just a demonstration at the moment. We're going to then add 2 more moves to take the stretches further. So on the exhale, we're going to go from cat to child posture. So the hips are going to go down towards the heels. You may not be able to get the hips right the way down. If your heels and your bum aren't together, that's fine. You just keep it as close as you can. At the same time, you're going to stretch the hands as far away from you as you can, trying to keep the shoulders relaxed and not too close to the ears. So you're not losing control of the stability of your shoulders. It's really in the arms from the shoulder joints. And take the forehead down. This is child's pose. So coming out of this, there will be an inhale through cat, so into cow, and there will be a continuation of that by just dropping the hips down to the floor and then dropping the chest to the floor. Then inhaling. This is cobra. So we've got a cat, a cow, a cobra, and a child. Hopefully they'll all get on well together. So this is how we're going to start. Do it with me. So inhaling, cat. Sorry, that was cow. Exhale. Really press into the back of the spine. Press the spine up towards the sky or the ceiling. Inhale, keep the tummy drawn in, really focus on opening the chest. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. To cat. Inhale. To cow. Exhale. To cat. Inhale. To cow. Exhale. exhale to cat. We're going to carry on that movement. So taking the hips back, taking the forehead to the floor and stretching the arms out in front of you. Palms pressing into the floor. Inhaling. Opening the chest and then lowering the hips to the floor and exhaling, taking the whole of the chest to the floor. Inhale, not using the hands, use the muscles to open the front of the body. And then exhale, press into the hands now, cat position, through to child's pose. See how close you can get the hips to the feet. Stretch the arms away. Inhale. Cat. Cow. And lowering. Inhale to cobra. Exhale. Through cat to child's pose. Inhaling. Through cat. Cow. And lower. All on the exhale. Inhale. Exhale. All the way through to child's pose. Really stretch out the back, the arms, the hands. Press the hands into the floor. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Now continue to your own breath rhythm. It doesn't matter what speed, although the slower the better, because you have to control the muscles more. So in your own breath rhythm, doing this or a version of this. Whole of the body is warming up, becoming engaged, aware. Keep the breath and the movement synchronized. Remembering that the inhale goes with opening out, stretching. Exhale, relaxing, releasing. And then the next time you go into child's pose, just stay there for a few breaths. Do a little scan of the body. How's it feeling? How are those shoulders feeling? How are the hips feeling? You can move a little from side to side. Quite nice if your forehead is on the floor, then that's stimulating the third eye for clarity of vision. If you want to experience a slightly different stretch, you can take the arms out to shoulder height, pressing the palms into the floor. Your face should be face down. Mine is to the side so that you can hear me. So pressing the shoulders down to the floor, pressing the hands into the floor, pressing the forehead into the floor. So you should be able to feel that stretch across the front shoulders at the top of the chest. And then finally, if you want to, you can take the hands behind you, the palms facing up. Again, allow the shoulders to relax down. Everything is heavy, everything is relaxed. And just take a few breaths here, noting what's happening within your body, any sensations that you can feel, any areas of tension or tightness. See if you can direct your breath towards those areas when you inhale to create space in any areas of tension. And as you exhale, allow that tension to leave the body with the breath. And then bring your hands to either side of your head, between your head and your shoulders. And then looking down, gently press yourself up to a seated position. So we're going to come up to standing now. So just come up to standing in your own way, in your own time. Take your time, don't go up too quickly. So next we're going to do some sun salutation sequences. I will demonstrate and talk you through in a lot of detail the first one. If you are familiar with my sun salutations, if you've done my yoga before at Purbeck, then you can start straight away with me. You can start straight away with me if you want to anyway. But if you want to watch the first couple just to get an idea of what's going on, then you can do so. Don't feel that you have to start straight away. You can join in whenever you feel comfortable with what you're doing. So I'm going to turn to the side so that you can see what's happening from the side. You start in Samastiti, it's called. This is, each side is the same. It's a balanced position, which we'll come back to after each standing pose. So the first, again, don't forget, the movement is always connected with the breath. They're not disjointed, they're not separate. The breath and the movement. I always like to think of it as the movement is riding on the wave of the breath. They're really joined together, like a surfer. So I will describe the breath and the movement and alternative ways of going into it. So the first breath is an inhale, and the movement is simply the arms going above the head. You can take the arms up to the side or to the front. Try them both, see which one you prefer. So that's the first breath, inhaling. You can take the hands together or shoulder width apart. The second movement starts with bending the legs and hinging forward from the hips. You keep the spine as straight as you can and take the chest down to the thighs. Take the hands to the floor. Now, the next breath is an inhale where you're going to open up through the chest and see if you can straighten the arms and the legs. The legs probably won't straighten all the way. That's fine. And then you have an exhale in which you are going down into plank position and then to lie on the floor. So you can take either a big step back or you can take lots of little steps back and then take your knees to the floor with a straight line between the shoulders and the knees. Then lowering. All of this is on an exhale. Inhaling, you're going to press your hands into the floor and open up through the chest. Exhale, that's cobra again. You might recognize it from the last one. To the knees, tuck the toes under and lift the hips to downward facing dog. You're going to inhale and step forward. This can be one big step or a number of little steps, just as far as you want to go. Exhaling, folding everything in again. Then inhaling, keeping the knees bent, keeping the spine straight. Going up when you're standing, the legs will be straight, and exhaling, hands back to the side. I'm going to do it again, a little bit quicker. You can join in if you want to, or you can watch again. So, inhale, raise the hands, look to the hands. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, opening the chest, looking up. Exhale, stepping back and lowering on an exhale. Inhale, opening up to cobra position. Exhale, bend the knees, tuck the toes under, downward facing dog. Inhale, stepping forward. Exhale, folding back in. Inhale, coming up to standing. Take the arms up, look to the hands. Exhale. Hands back to the side. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more together. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Now to your own breath rhythm if you want to, or you can do 3 more with me. So 3 to your own breath rhythm, or follow my movement with your own breath. When you've finished your sun salutations, stand in Samastiti, balanced position. Close your eyes and just take a few breaths. Scanning the body, noticing the sensations that are arising, knowing through this observation where you need to direct your energy towards, perhaps in the postures, to try and relieve any tension using the breath. So we're going to do a sequence that you will be familiar with if you're used to doing yoga with Morag at Purbeck Valley Folk Festival. We're going to do the Trikonasana sequence. If you're familiar with the sequence, you can start straight away with me. Otherwise, listen carefully to the instructions and join in when you feel comfortable doing so. So first of all, you're going to step to a wide stance. Not so wide that you can't get any movement in. Maybe 3 or 4 feet apart, depending on how long your legs are. So the sequence starts with the arms up. So first of all, in this position, stretch to the left. Kind of feel that stretch in the top of the shoulder. Stretch to the right. And then stretch both ways. That's the sensation that you need to maintain throughout this feeling of being really engaged and stretched through the top of the body. You'll see my hips are parallel to the long side of this mat. So I want to keep my hips fixed in this position. I am going to do a lateral bend and a twist, and I'll talk you through those as I go through and where you should be feeling the stretch. So I'm just going to use my regular right and left. So I will say which one. I'm not quite sure which way it comes out on the video. I've got a sneaking suspicion it comes out in the mirror. So it might be the right one anyway. Otherwise, just listen to what I'm saying or go, it doesn't really matter. You can do the other side if you want to anyway. So arms wide. Palms facing down or towards the front. So the first thing is a lateral bend to the right hand side. I'd like you to imagine you're standing in between 2 panes of glass, which will keep your hips facing in the right direction. So exhaling, lateral stretch to the right, and you should feel this all along the side of the body. Inhaling, coming up to center, use that to stretch out again through those shoulders. Exhale, lateral bend to the left hand side. Inhale, coming up straight. Going to do a twist now. So keeping the hips square, rotating through the spine to the right side, and then folding. Take the left arm to the right leg and stretch the right arm up into the air. Inhaling, coming up to center, keep the hips square and rotate to the left, taking the right arm to the left leg and the left arm up in the air. Inhaling, coming up, that's one round. So we'll do another one slowly together. Exhale, lateral bend. Inhale, coming upright. Stretch. Exhale, lateral bend. Inhale, coming upright. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, coming up straight. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, coming up straight. So you might find that your shoulders get a little bit tired. If you want to take a break after each one, Or after doing a couple, then that's absolutely fine. Just join in again when you can, when you feel ready and able to. So inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale, lateral bend to the left. Inhale, rotation to the right. Inhale, rotation to the left. And exhale. Inhale, back to center. Exhale. So you see I've put an extra movement in here. You can cancel, you can lose that bit if you want, but this is quite nice if you need a rest at the end. So inhale, exhale. Lateral bend to the right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, lateral bend to the left. Inhale, rotation, left hand, right leg. Inhale, right hand, left leg rotation. Inhale, exhale. So we're going to do 4 of those to your own breath rhythm. You can follow me if you want to. I'm not going to say anything during this next bit, but I will continue to demonstrate so that you can all flow to your own breath rhythm. Focus on the synchronization and the connection between the breath and the movement. And when you finish the complete sequence that you're on, just bring your feet together, close your eyes, take the arms to the side of the body, just slightly away from the body, scanning the body, noticing the sensations that are occurring within the body, and allowing everything to come back to balance. So you've just done a very asymmetric, so we're doing one side and then another, we're lateral bending, we're twisting. So really the body needs to kind of come back to a neutral place before moving on to the next posture. The next posture is a balance. We're going to do tree posture. There's lots of variations of this. It's essentially a one-leg balance. So the first stage, and we can do this together, I'm going to ask you to stand on your left leg first. So first of all, just really make sure the weight is evenly distributed between both feet and that your center of gravity is really nice and strong and firm, being pulled in by tucking that tummy in towards the spine. First of all, I just ask you to lift the heel of the right foot off the ground and then take the knee out to the side. So you should be feeling this in the hip joint. So you should be feeling that opening in the hip joint. You don't want to be swinging the other hip around. You just open the hip out to the side, the knee out to the side until you feel the working in the hip. Now, if this feels enough on the leg department, because you should have a very strong standing leg and quite a relaxed, lifted leg, essentially. If this feels okay, but not very challenging, you can take the foot off the floor. My right foot, is on my left calf at this point. Again, the force of the foot now goes into the standing leg to bring those together and to help the balance improve. If this feels like it's not enough of a challenge for you, you can take the foot up to the thigh. Please do not place the foot on the knee because there's too much force that's going into that joint. You're supposed to be pressing the right foot or the lifted foot against the standing leg, and that's how you get this core fixed center of gravity. As for the hands, in the center of the chest, above the head, to the side, wherever you want to be. It doesn't matter if you wobble and fall a bit. It really helps. There are two keys to standing balances. First is your center of gravity. You've really got to fix your center of gravity. And the second is if you fix your point of your gaze, then it's a lot easier to fix your center of gravity, and perhaps you wouldn't believe it by watching me, you don't wobble so much. So if you find a spot to focus on, just a tiny spot, maybe 3-4 feet away, press really engage that standing leg, press the foot into the standing leg, and hold for as long as you can. If you need to rest doing this and come back, it's fine. And relax. So you might want to, got a bit of a burn going on here in my standing leg, in the calves. Good sign, it's a good sign. So we're going to change now so that we are balancing on the right leg. So we'll go back to the beginning. Let's allow ourselves to come back to balance, to come back to center. So that's central system energy moving between the two sides. We've just done an asymmetrical posture. We're going to come to neutral and do the other side. So first of all, lift the left heel. Take the knee out to the side. If that's enough for you, take your hands into your preferred position and take your balance there. This is a challenging position. Really, you want to be focusing on an absolute concrete, hard standing leg here. If you want to go further, you can take the foot to the shin or to the upper leg. Please do not place the foot on the inside of the opposite knee because you are likely to damage your knee. Only on the calf or the thigh. So we're going to hold for a few breaths. Draw the tummy in. Press the foot into the standing leg and see if you can press the standing leg back into the foot. Have your fixed point of focus on the floor. And breathe. If you're feeling muscle ache, see if you can direct your breath to that muscle. And exhaling, bring the knee to center and relax. So that's really good for circulation all the way down the legs. So we're going to come to a seated position now. I might be able to bring the mat a little bit closer. Closer. So we're going to come to the sit, and I'm going to sit sideways so that you can see what's going on with the various joints. So first of all, just to have this seated position. This is seated staff. The idea is it's essentially the same as the standard standing posture, the neutral standing posture, but you just have this bend in the middle at the hips. The legs should be engaged in this posture, and really that's done by engaging these quadricep muscles and really taking the backs of the knees down to the mat and seeing if you can at the same time keep the heels on the floor. So the whole of the leg, this is your base here. So it's really strong, supportive base. So we're going to do a few forward, just a little bit of forward fold. And you may want to bend your knees. It's really important in these forward folds that the folding action is coming from the hips. Can you see? It's not coming from curling the spine inwards. So it sometimes can be helpful to bend the knees, lean forward, and take the hands to the floor. And then you can work on just allowing the heels to move slightly away without bending, curving the spine. So if you were to straighten the legs at this point, it's likely that your back would go up a bit. So the feet can be on the floor, they can be on the shins, or they can be extended towards over the tops of the feet. I like to have my hands on the floor because you're not then grasping, hoping to reach the feet. I've got long arms, so I can reach my feet from an upward sitting. So reaching the feet isn't the point of the pose. The point of the pose is to lengthen all those muscles in the backs of your leg. And that's why if you try to get to the toes by curving the spine, you're not actually getting any of the benefits of the posture. So that's why I say it's better to slightly bend the knees and really keep that back long and the chest open. We keep the back of the neck long as well. Few breaths here, pressing the knees down, opening the chest, relaxing the shoulders, and then exhaling. We're running a little bit short on time, so we're just going to do a very quick supported bridge. So take the feet hip width apart and lie down. Take the elbows. So the upper arms are on the floor, the elbows are close to the body, and the hands are facing up. So bring the feet sort of relatively close to the hips. And as you inhale, first of all, tip the pelvis back into the floor and then lift the hips up. Really trying to bring the chest towards the chin. And then exhaling, lowering slowly, one vertebrae at a time. And then the knees into the chest on an exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And then from here, we're just going to take the feet away from the body. So again, perhaps 2 to 3 feet apart, arms away from the body. We're just going to the final relaxation here. And I'm going to talk you through a guided relaxation. So if you'd like to close your eyes and perhaps just take some time here. If you need to put any layers on, then put some layers on. If you have access to a blanket, great. Put a blanket on top of you. Don't forget that you've been moving over the last hour. And when you go into Shavasana, the rest position at the end of the yoga, it's a really important position to allow your body to digest and assimilate everything that's happened here. So this is a really important part that shouldn't be missed out of the practice. It's quite nice too. So close your eyes, make any adjustments that you need to make. Little micro movements. You may find that having some support under your knee can help relieve some back ache if that's an issue for you. Otherwise, fall into a state of awareness, being aware of the whole body, of the sensations that are flowing through the body. Are there any areas of tension that are obvious? If there are, just note those areas and perhaps direct a few breaths, direct the energy of the breath towards those tense areas. Be aware of the weight of your body, gravity, keeping it in place with that wide base of support, the whole of the back of your body. Be aware of the sensations that are created by gravity and the connection of your body with its surrounding elements. So you might feel point of contact at the back of the head. What does that feel like? What are the sensations? the backs of the shoulders, the backs of the arms and hands, all connecting with the floor. There might be a gap at the lower back, and then perhaps the buttocks meet the floor, the backs of the thighs, the calves and the heels, all those points of contact. And then whatever you're wearing, that contacts your skin, a different sensation. And different again is the feeling of the air as it touches your skin. All of these sensations, most of which go completely unnoticed most of the time. Directing your attention to your feet. Wiggle the toes very gently, and then relax the feet. Relax the feet, and allow that feeling of relaxation to go up into the ankles. Allow the feet and the ankles to feel heavy and relaxed, sinking into the floor. Hold that feeling of relaxation in your feet and ankles. And feel that sensation of relaxation, release, going up into the calves and the shins, traveling up the legs through the knees. The knees become relaxed. And the thighs and the back of the legs are relaxed. So that the whole of the legs, the feet, are relaxed and warm and heavy, sinking into the floor. And the hips are relaxed. The hips sink into the floor. The hips are heavy. Spine relaxes. The upper shoulders and the middle of the back and the lower back all relax. Your abdomen relaxes, the ribs relax, and the chest relaxes. The whole of the torso is relaxed, heavy, sinking into the floor. That sensation of the relaxation of the torso and the legs spreads now into the shoulders, into the upper arms, the elbows, the inner elbows, and the forearms. That sensation of relaxation spreads into the hands, backs of the hands, palms of the hands, the fingers and the thumbs. And that relaxation spreads up the neck and the throat, into the chin, which relaxes. The tongue relaxes. The upper mouth relaxes. The cheeks and the nose relax, and the forehead relaxes. The eyelids and eyeballs sink into the sockets. And the whole of the scalp relaxes. Your whole body is relaxed. Your whole body is warm. Your whole body is heavy. And introducing some gentle movement back into the fingers, back into the toes, into the elbows, the knees, the hips. And take hold of the knees, squeeze in and drop gently from side to side. And then roll over onto the left side. Take the right hand, place it down on the floor, push yourself up into a seated position. Thank you very much for joining me for our hour and 10 minutes of yoga. I hope you enjoyed the session. I hope you found it relaxing, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the Purbeck Virtual Valley Folk Festival.